been a while since I've made a video, and I've been kind of in a drought, not really sure what I should talk about. Something that I have been doing here recently that I think has kind of reopened some things that I used to do a lot. The idea of the caged system, or the 5 fingerings that Jimmy Bruno uses, and I'm not really sure. I don't believe they're the same. And the one that I'm not sure about is this one, the shape that I consider to be natural minor. It would be in the caged system, it would be the one that goes with the G shape. So I'm going to translate that up to here to this G-shaped chord, which is a C, and I'll play this shape. And that's the part I'm not sure about. I think you expand up to that note and then back to there. So anyway, the Jimmy Bruno shape on that particular spot, the 6th note of the major scale, shifts backwards. Again, I'm not really sure which is correct. I do know the Jimmy Bruno one that I just did is correct. And again, I can't say enough good things about Jimmy Bruno's teaching, so check him out. But anyway, the cage system, I don't really know, don't really care, but I understand the idea. It's not really something I've ever practiced, and maybe I've practiced it by accident and didn't know. However, the scale shapes that are, I believe, considered to be the 3-note per string scale shapes are some things that I think can be very useful, and I've kind of rediscovered some of the things that I used to do with those. And I've mentioned in a video that I did, I don't know, a year ago or maybe more, that you can group fingerings into 2s and 3s. And what I mean by that is they're always a pair of this fingering, and we'll use the key of C major. Now I'm starting on the B note, and in C major I'm playing 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fingering is actually 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And whenever I move on to the next string, I have 2 of this fingering, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Now the shift is built in because of the mistuned strings. But I have 2 of that fingering, 2 of this fingering, and on the next string we would start a series of 3 of this extended fingering, and I don't even know what to call it because of the way I finger it. I'm going to just call it the extended fingering. Now, when this string is duplicated on the low string because they're the same notes, that is the first of this group of 3. So I have extended on 3 adjacent strings. Following the 3, I go back to 2 of these. That's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And then there will be 2 of this fingering. 1, 3, 4. Now that one again moves down to here. And there will be a second of those. Following that, there are 3 of those extended fingerings. So those fingerings I discovered to be useful for something that I like to do, which is extending or taking a major scale and extending the or expanding the major scale by displacing certain adjacent notes by an octave. So if I take this G major scale, that's the 3-note per string approach. I can, starting on the G, I can move notes up an octave. And that then lends itself to expanding the arpeggio. So I've got 1, 3, 5, 7, and I can expand the arpeggio out. 1, 5, 3, 7. And those notes are falling into the very same place that they do using this scale. There's that seventh that I'm reaching up to. Now, the reason why I like that particular scale shape is because it's handy to just make mutations, and you've got other scales that fit with other chords. This is obviously something you play over the major one chord. If I turn that chord into dominant, if I turn that chord into minor 7, I can turn it into a minor major 7 this way. So those chord shapes, root 5, 3, major 7, you could walk those up the neck. There would be your 2 chord, root, 5th, flat 3, flat 7, your 3 chord, root, 5th, flat 3, flat 7, your 4 chord, root, 5, major 3, major 7, your 5 chord, root 5, flat 7, I'm sorry, root 5, 3, flat 7, your 6 chord, root 5, flat 3, flat 7, your 7 diminished chord, root, flat 5, flat 3, and flat 7, and you're back to the home base. Those are interesting chord shapes and arpeggio shapes. You can stack those. G major 7, you could play root 5, 3, 7, and then go up to the B, and from there play the B minor 7 shape you just played, and that gives you a root and a major 7 and a 5 and a 9. So you've got interesting sounds that you can use, and of course you can put that over your 2 chord going to 5, back to 1. And go up the arpeggio, come down a scale, something like that. So I think those expanded fingerings are useful for the scalar approach, expanding those arpeggios, and I think that sound gets into something you hear. Eric Johnson does that a lot, or something similar to that, and I know by saying that somebody's going to correct me and say that's probably not what he does, and I don't really know. I've never really studied his playing. I'm fascinated by it, and I love it when I hear it. So anyway, I thought those might be some things that might be a springboard into some other ideas that I can expand on.